Hi, welcome to Cooking Made Simple with Chef Kelly. I'm Chef Kelly, and today I want to introduce you to some barramundi. My friends over at Australis Barramundi, they have the better fish, as we call it, and I want to introduce you to what they have to offer today, something really new and exciting that I think you'll really appreciate. First thing, we're going to get started. We got a lot of fun things to do today. The springtime is here, summer's right around the corner, and we're going to make some different things that are going to be really simple to work with and product that's in season right now. So first, let me introduce you to a new product that we are doing, which is a breaded barramundi. And what's interesting about this breaded fish is that it's lightly fried. Okay, these are frozen, and I'm going to talk about a little secret on how to handle some items that are pre-done. Okay, it takes about 18 minutes or so, 16 to 18 minutes in your oven based on what your oven temperature is, your oven, how strong it is. But about 425 degrees, okay? And what's interesting about this particular product is that barramundi, as we know, is a really helpful fish, right? Really great, high in omega-3s, a white fish, mild, buttery flavor. It's really a lot better than your typical fried products. And that's what I love about it. It's, you want something that's a little bit more kind of like comfort food and something like that, or the kids want something that's kind of fun and something they're used to. And these little, if you will, fish nuggets are really easy and fun to eat. 425, right? I read the instructions, 16 to 18 minutes, okay? And we're gonna put that in there. So I wanna introduce you to Kohlrabi. Normally it has a leaf on it. The leaf were broken, so I took them off. But Kohlrabi is usually, this beginning of the season really kind of comes out in the next week or two. So I actually found these at the market, and I was surprised that I was able to get them. It's in the cabbage family, like a broccoli would be, or Brussels sprouts, right, in that same family. And it's kind of a cross between a potato / artichoke, is the best way to say it. Has that little flavor to it. When you cook them, it comes close to like a radish almost. But we're going to do two things with them. We're going to make a slaw out of one of them, hence the breaded fish, right? Almost like a fish and chips with a slaw. It's kind of what we're playing with. And then another one we're going to do is we're going to roast them, which will go a little bit on the side of our entree. So when I get these, the leaves are actually cookable. You can braise them when you get the leaves. But you may not get a lot of leaves, so it may not be enough really to do it. But if you throw it in with another blend of leafy greens, you get like a power blend, that will work well. So let's get them roasted in the oven. Okay, we're gonna cut these in half. Now, a lot of times they're purplish. Right now they're green, they're a little young in the season, that's why they're green, okay? But we're going to just kind of slice these, wash them up a little bit. You can leave the skin on them, okay? You take off a little bit of the core, which I did already. You see that little one right there. You don't need to worry about, cooking them a long time. If they're a little underdone, it's okay. As a matter of fact, the slaw we're gonna make are gonna be raw anyway. So you can eat them a little underdone, all right? So we'll put this here in the bowl. We'll put some pepper and some salt, okay? And we're gonna take some garlic cloves here. Now, if you cut them small, they may burn before the rest of it cooks. So I'm gonna smash them. Let's do a rough chop and toss them with them. I don't need to do it too small. See, that's enough right there. So there you go with that. Now, next thing I do is I want to put the cheese on it now, so it kind of maybe kind of salty and crisp up with it. Right? A little olive oil. And then that's ready to go. So we want the cheese to get a little bit of a crust to it, sort of. That's why I put it in a little early. And if it's okay, if it's a little underdone, if the crust is getting too dark, but the interior is not done all the way, that's okay. Now you can also splash a little splash of water to it if you like. I'm just going to put a little splash of wine just because I already have it here, because we're going to use wine in the next recipe. So we'll just have it here, put a little bit, right? We got our oil in here. Spread it out. Don't let it pile, okay? If you let it pile, what will happen is that it won't cook evenly. So we're just gonna mix it up like that, nice and flat, put them in the oven. So what we got going on here with the slaw is we're gonna do some apples. Okay, you notice they look the same. So we got kohlrabi, some apples to it. Okay, I got some scallions, and we're gonna put a dressing on it as well. Now, I got this little mandolin here. This mandolin, it's got really sharp blades, so you got to be really careful with it. So I recommend you get a towel, kitchen towel like this. Okay, use the bigger ones. That's why I wanted you to use the bigger ones earlier, because they're easy to handle. And you're making these nice long slivers, kind of like the way a French fry would be, right? So you see how that came out? And then we're going to take the apple. Leave the skin on it. Now, if you want to change your apple, but I like the crispiness of this apple. It holds up a little bit better. You can want to do a red apple. Now, I want to put a little carrot, because I like that little look of the brightness of it. So this is a nice slaw. It's something different than your typical coleslaw, right? It's kohlrabi slaw. So we're doing kohlrabi in 2 locations, right? We're baking some, roasting it in the oven, and then we're doing it raw. All right, so we have our kohlrabi, we have our carrot, and we have our apple. So far, so good, right? Got this nice little fun little slaw that's going to go in here. Take that out. A little bit of green onion. Okay, I like that onion flavor. You can do a red onion if you like, but what I like about the green onions, the scallions as they're called, is that they're a little bit lighter, right? That's what I like about them. All right, now we're going to make the dressing right in here. We put salt and pepper, right? So that, salt and pepper. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You can use whatever vinegar you want. I have apple cider. And, typically you put maybe a little sugar with it. I'm going to put a little honey, because I think the honey is a little more natural. It's a nicer sweetness to it, okay? If you want to spice it up, help yourself. Now, I'm going to put a little touch of oil. Now, a lot of slaws don't have oil, so it's even going to be better. So this is nice and vibrant, a nice crispy slaw, vibrant and fresh, and really refreshing, I would say. So what is barramundi? Barramundi is, for lack of a better description, it's really a Pacific sea bass, Asian sea bass, really popular in Australia, New Zealand, and this one, we grow it in Vietnam. The water's pristine. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a sustainable fish. It's aquaculture certified. Now, what's nice about our particular product with the Better Fish is that it can cook from a frozen state. This is still semi-frozen. I only pulled it out a little while ago, but they're portioned really well. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of garlic, right? I'm going to slice all this up, and we're going to steam this fish right in the pan. Now, it's important that your pan can go in the oven a little bit. So make sure you have a good pan that can handle high temperature, right? So I got this heavy gauge pan with the cover and the handle. So I want to steam it inside there. A little bit of white onion. Right? So I got my julienne onions. Now we're going to take some lemon. We're going to do lemons in 2 ways. We're going to slice them, so we can put it on top. And then we're going to squeeze them as well. We're going to have some olive oil, some white wine, and one of my favorite things, butter. So we're going to make a natural sauce in the pan. We're going to steam everything at one time. So it's really simple. So 2 pats of butter, 1 pat per fish. So we're going to take our Swiss chard, put our fish right in here. Right, we're going to put this right on the bed. Right, we're going to put a piece of butter on each one. We'll season them. Right, salt and pepper. Now we got some onions. And we got some garlic. With the garlic, I don't want overpowered with the garlic, right? We'll squeeze some lemon on it. And then we'll forget, we're going to put, let me lower this guy here a little bit. We're going to put a cover on it, and we're going to put some wine. So now we're going to put these slices on top. So far, so good, right? We'll put this thyme here. And as you put the thyme on it, just kind of break them up a little bit, right? Simple. Put a little olive oil. I know there's butter on it. I want a little olive oil too. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Now we're going to put some wine in it. So now we're going to steam it right in here, like so. So now, looking at the fish right here, if you look at it really closely, it's firming up, but it's still underdone. Now remember, this fish itself was practically frozen still. So it's going to make its natural juice. There's your butter. There's your wine cooking out. Smell it really good, okay? The Swiss chard, now you can do this with spinach, but spinach doesn't hold up to that cooking as well. So it's a quick saute. But if you wanted to do this with a heartier green, maybe beet greens left over, or if you want to try like a Tuscan kale, you may have to cook them a little bit on the side first. Take this moment here and just baste it. Okay, so this is coming out good the way it is. So I don't want it to cook any more on top. So you put this in the oven. We're going to make a couple of fun little sauces. So I got some chipotle peppers in the adobo. You're going to just take them out. And you're going to take the ketchup here. You can make it as spicy as you want. These tend to be spicy, so be careful with it, right? If you don't want it spicy, don't put a lot in. I have to want this a little spicy. That's what I want it. But don't necessarily use what you like, what works for you. So you chop them up. You put this in here. The lime kind of pulls it all out. And we're going to put a little bit more salt in it. Yes, you need a little more salt. Go figure that one out. But yes, you do need salt in it. Don't forget, the ketchup is seasoned, right? It's got vinegar. It's got some sugar in it. It's got, obviously the tomato based in there. So it already got seasoning in it. But you kind of want to pull this out more when you start putting other things to it. Now, these seeds are going to make it nice and spicy. Come back and clean that in a second. Now, if you let this sit, you make this in advance, a week in advance. It will hold up really well and infuse it a little bit. You got this nice Chipotle ketchup. Now, the thing about this one is that it's a great little dip to put on the side, which we will do for our breaded fish, right? Okay, I want to make the other sauce. Right now, we're going to make our avocado aioli. So, what is aioli? It's not Italian. It's French. People think automatically, oh, it's Italian. No. And what does it mean? Aioli is a garlic mayonnaise. That's the easiest way to describe it. So when you're making it from scratch, you would take egg yolk and oil and with garlic, and that would be your fundamentals right there. So I got my mayonnaise in here. If you do a raw garlic, it's going to be a little bit more assertive. Okay? So this should be a little bit more assertive because of the raw garlic, right? We got some salt and pepper. Now, because we talked about olive oil and it's that French mayonnaise, we're going to put some olive oil in here right now. So you have your avocado right here. So here's our lime that we used before. I'm actually going to test that fish in 1 second. I think we're going to be done. The one that's from the raw product. Let's take a look at that. I know our Kohlrabi's done here, so we're going to take that one out. That's good. And we'll see how this is doing. And this is done. So let this sit right here. That's simple. That's done too. Both of those are done. Pretty simple so far, right? So we'll put a little bit of our sauce right there. Little chunks of avocado in that. Okay, this guy is done. Chipotle ketchup. So what am I making here? I'm making basically a fun fish and chips, right? Everything's baked. It's a little different. It's a little healthier, right? Little seasoning, in season rather, I should say. Right, light seasoning. Okay, you got this nice Kohlrabi that's been with garlic and some Parmesan cheese or pecorino as I used. So our Barramundi's ready. Perfect. So you got your essentially your fish and chips, right? With your Chipotle ketchup, avocado aioli, roasted Kohlrabi, and I think you really enjoy what we got here. So we got our fish that's been poached or steamed, if you will. Be careful because if you take it out of the oven, it's just hot. So got your thyme. Come back to this guy in a second. We'll take this all out here. So if you notice the Swiss chard, it wilted, right? So there was really no cooking involved per se ahead of time. Look at that. Very simple. Look at that. Look how simple that is, right? They didn't really have to do much to that. So we already have our first slaw, but I want to do a nice little salad made with a coleslaw, like a coleslaw salad, or a salad and coleslaw mixed together, of shredded or shaved Brussels sprouts. I had this actually last night, which is what made me want to use it today. So really simple. I put this together with a little avocado to it. Okay. Now with avocado, you can slice it right inside here. And then just scoop it right out. So you buy the Brussels sprouts that are already shaved. Okay. No work involved. Take an avocado, put it in here. I got a couple of tomatoes in here. They're going to add to it. And then I'm going to put a couple of fun things in it to kind of liven it up, right? So we got some tomatoes. And we're coming towards the end of the blood orange season. And that's going to lend itself not only to a great flavor, but a kind of a cool look too, right? So you want to get in between the membranes. Now it's the end of the season. You can start to see how they're getting thicker here. We're going to put some, as we know, pepper and salt, as always, right? I'm going to put a little bit of pecorino cheese. If you want to put some shaved Parmesan, that would work really well. Avocado. I got the oranges in here. We got all kinds of fun things happening. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of red onion, cut it in half like so, and then try and go as thin as possible. Because you want to be able to have it match the size of the leaves in here. The apple cider vinegar inside your little salad. You're making the dressing right inside here, okay? And we're going to put some olive oil. So it's the vinegar, it's the olive oil, it's the cheese, avocado, red onion, okay? So the vinegar is nice and assertive right now. It's actually going to kind of mellow out as it starts to gets absorbed with the Brussels sprouts, and then the avocado, kind of as I'm pushing, I'm breaking it up. But this is tasty, it's the way it is. A raw Brussels sprout salad. Okay. And then we'll put a little extra cheese on it. This is a really fun, simple class tonight. Okay. Let me kind of tell you everything we just did one more time, because it seems like it was hard. It seems like it was a lot, but everything was really simple, right? I think it was simple. And I'm looking forward to this because this is like nice, light, easy eating. And I'd like to also thank my friends over at the Better Fish. So first thing, we have a breaded Barramundi nuggets, fish nuggets with a Chipotle Ketchup, Avocado Aioli, and roasted Kohlrabi with pecorino and garlic. And over here, we have a steamed Barramundi over Swiss chard with lemon and butter. Then we have a Kohlrabi slaw, salad if you will, right? Kohlrabi, apples, and some carrots with a little bit of an apple cider dressing made with a little honey. And then finally, we have a Brussels sprout salad with some blood oranges, some red onion, some pecorino cheese. Very simple, very tasty, very bright and vibrant. So hopefully you enjoyed this. So thanks again, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode.